night, no sleep, and I called him early this morning. I said, "You better be on that stage." I'm Barbara Share from the Ukraine. Goodness. Welcome to all of the guests. I see there are many, many guests here this morning, and thank you to Nell for singing and Paul for playing, and thank you for being here. And if you're a guest here, thank you for coming. The way things work over here is we work in focuses, topics, and this month's particular topic is activating a sense of healing. And I have been thinking about that, and I thought, you know what, perhaps I should have called that something else. Maybe what I should have called the topic is activating a sense of wholeness. Because we've got, in this particular faith tradition, we have an idea that creation is perfect. That everything is in the right place at the right time, successfully engaged in the right activity. It's a big idea. So then what's there to heal? You know what I mean? Other than the story I tell myself about creation and how I think it's supposed to show up, you know. So this month, when we're talking about activating a sense of healing through looking at our self-image, and wasn't our speaker great last week? Just fantastic. Yeah. Or talking about the sense of healing in our body image, or how we relate to money or relationships. What we're really talking about is our own inner world and how our inner world relates to our experience of the outer world. So throughout these topics, there's really just one basic theme, no matter which way we say it. We could say something like, our experience of the world has something to do with what's going on in our mind. Or, you know, if we're talking about it, we could say, my body responds to my thought. You've probably heard that or experienced it even. Or we could say, by changing what I habitually think, I can reshape my journey through the world. Or I could say, by becoming aware of the stories I'm telling myself, I get to open up more possibilities and more choices. That's it. And in this interactive journal, we're reading an interactive journal together. It's called Spirit is Calling. And as we read together, the subjects change with us on Sunday. And the advice from the journal for this week is about our body. And it says, it's right there, each day, give loving consideration to the miracle of your body. Which would seem an obvious thing to do, right? We already know intuitively that infants, they respond really well to that kind of consideration, loving consideration. We seem to know instinctively that a niceness and kindness and nurturing language that we give to children or pets or plants will do the world of good for them. And yet some of us put that same wisdom on hold when we look at ourselves in the mirror. You know, for some people, when they first encounter this, their language, their conversations that they have, when they first pause, the first time they stop to consider what they're saying to themselves when they look in the mirror, what they're saying about their physical body, it's a surprise to them that that's going on. And, well, some people are saying kind and lovely things when they look in the mirror, but some people discover that they are being mean and hateful. And then some people start to realize that this inward conversation has a lot to do with their experience of walking through the world in this body. We already know from the outer world, from the world of relationships, we've probably got some experience there. We already know that the language of rejection and cruelty has one kind of effect. And the language of forgiveness and nurturance and inclusivity has another kind of effect. We already know that. But for some of us, we just didn't think it also applied to what we were saying in the privacy of our own mind about ourselves. Because we hadn't yet made that connection that it's exactly there in the privacy of our own mind that everything happens. That's where creation is born. That's where every decision is formed. That's where every belief is nurtured. That's where prayer takes place. It is the combustion center of creation. Which is curious because, I don't know about you, some of what's inside in the privacy of my own mind, it doesn't even belong to me. Did you notice that? Some of us, we receive our images, particularly about our body, from society, Advertising, TV, soap operas, movies, fashion, and there we have it. My body shouldn't look like this. Younger is better. Taller is preferable. Thinner is nicer. In fact, anything other than what you've got is better. Anything. And every time you let one of those in, it acts like a poison. It sits there and it affects the awareness, the conversation. And it's no wonder then some people, when they've let that in, they look at the mirror and they go, because they've been poisoned. Poisoned to the point where, for some folk, when they get to the journal and the suggestion, every day give loving consideration to the miracle of your body, they go, because they find that there isn't anything there at all that they really feel loving about. Which is a really important, powerful realization. If this is true of you, this is a terrific awareness, because you can now imagine what comes out of this state of non-love. I mean, I listen into my own conversations in my private mind and those of my friends as it comes out of their mouths, and maybe some of this applies to you. I tolerate my body. I've got a body. I endure my body. I disguise my body. It disgusts me. It disappoints me. It scares me. It lets me down. And imagine taking any of those and using that kind of language on an infant, a pet, a plant. Fun, huh? Actually, when I was a child, I had a much better relationship to my body. I loved my body. It was so amazing and so curious. I wanted to know everything about it. I had no problem with it. You see, when I was a child, I had no idea that my teeth were smaller than the average tooth, like really small, and that it matters. I didn't know that I have an extra tooth in my set of teeth and that it matters. At another age, I could have got into a lot of trouble for that extra tooth. I didn't know that my hair, when it grows out, has a particularly wild, ragged kink in it and that it matters. I didn't care that one side of my skull bends out slightly larger than the other, not shaped like regular people's heads, or that it mattered. It was only later on that I found out that I'm a freak. When the truth is that you and I are beautiful because we are so rare and amazing, with nothing to heal at all, other than this story that you are freakish or broken. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not in denial about the world and its physical stuff. Stuff goes on. I mean, you're much prettier without my glasses. But I have to put them on, because otherwise I can't see the notes. And I have 2 discs in my lower back that are dissolving over time. Yeah. And I've got these weird bone growths in my hand. Yeah. And actually, they're ever present because it's hard for me to write, and to even play the piano, it hurts. It hurts all over, all the time. What's in your list?